I'm asking about the what of evil, how we understand what evil is, and then the how of God's response and the human response to evil. And only then am I coming to the why question about evil. One of the questions that the article pursues is what evil is. And that's partly by asking big ontological questions about the very nature of evil. Does it have substance? Is it being? But it's also partly by asking what kinds of things are examples of evil. And obviously sin in Christian tradition is the first place where the mind will go to on evil. And sin can be understood in terms of individual corruption, individual bad choices, disordered desires. But then increasingly, it's also interesting to think about sin as something that flows between us, that structures or alters society. So you might think about sexism or racism. And then there's a question about, what about suffering? Do we also call suffering evil? Or in some places theologically, suffering is aligned with redemption, that suffering is that which overcomes evil. Christianity has some really important contributions to make to the world in understanding evil, particularly in a lot of contemporary discourse. If you think about when people outside of a theological context use the word evil, it tends to be what you might call extreme outlier cases of badness. So torturing children, committing genocide. And so the evil is othered. The evil is someone else. And I can think about evil while being pretty sure that I would never want to do those things. And so I think one of the missions of Christianity is to make us take our own potential for our own involvement of evil more seriously. And it's one of the things I like about the privation account of evil, that it alerts us to the possibility that we too, without knowing that we're doing deliberately vicious things, we might still be doing something quite seriously wrong. And so I think there's room for us to think better and more about evil as something that has a presence in our societies and in our lives, and we have a responsibility to understand. We can't understand it at a deep level because I think ultimately